Today, we are gonna clank it up. We're gonna generate clank inside the dungeon. We're gonna monitor the clank. We're gonna report the clank. We're gonna have ways of testing the clank, and we're gonna even have ways of blocking the clank. There's gonna be a whole lot of clanking going on. And for those of you that don't remember, a clank is a way to measure how much noise you are making inside this little game called Decked Out. Every run, your clank starts at 0, but as you are walking your way through the dungeon, you're going to be making some noise. You're going to be clanking it up, and when you do, the denizens of the dungeon get angry with you. And that's when the Vex come out and generally kill you instantly. But that's not all we're going to do today. Today, we're going to play with some of this. I have been collecting ancient debris for quite a while on streams here and there, and we still got to get a lot more too. We need a lot of ancient debris because we need a lot of these, the lodestones. If you're familiar with Decked Out 1, the way we did it is you can take a compass and right click on the lodestone, and then that's how the player will know where in the dungeon they have to go. And we'll cover all that in a little bit. In fact, I think we might do that first, but we got a lot. We're gonna clank it up. We're gonna do some lodestone placement stuff. And you see all this digging I got going on here, these trenches I dug all the way around. That's gonna be our main redstone bus line so that we can cleanly and consistently send redstone signals around the perimeter of the game and signal all the core systems. Like, I think we're going to put the clank system back in here. I'm excited. Okay, so let's actually do this here. I've just cooked up 12 of the ancient Debbies there. So we got those, and now I think it's gold. Yeah, it's gold. I've done this like once in the history of Minecraft. I've never done this. These guys. Bam! 3. We're rich and stuff. And then we need, so the chiseled, and then we do that. There they are. 3 lodestones, plus the one that we stole from Impulse. I mean, totally acquired fairly from Impulse. Right there, we got 4 lodestones. So what we're gonna do now is set up the little compass drop-offs and show you how this is all gonna work. Starting at the entrance to the dungeon. If you guys remember, there's like this ice tunnel here that is kind of like the entryway into the crypt, right? All of this little meandering stuff, and some of this can open and close based on your hazard level, all that stuff. I would say everything kind of begins right here. I don't want to have any lodestone compass drop-off areas here or sooner, because that's not even a run. That's just like a little thing. Even up here is really pushing it. I'd say, the dungeon kind of begins here, but there's like entrances and stuff into the back that go up this way. So I would say it kind of begins right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do all these now. I'm going to do a bunch of these on live stream, I think. What I'm going to do now is pick a spot that's around here, and we'll set the first one up. Yeah, this will do. This is one of the first kind of interesting rooms with our little river cutting through here and everything. So I think I want to pick this spot right there. I think I want to build the first lodestone compass pickup right here. Oh, lodestone compass pickupificator. Here we go. We got to place the important block there. That is the hole that we poked through our floor there. Okay, so the lodestone will be right below it. We take our compass, we skedoodle. I got achievements. That's right. And now this compass is glowing, and now it always points to that lodestone, which is amazing. Now, I will, because there's 4 levels of Decked Out, I'm also going to name the compasses based on the level. So it'll say like a level 1 artifact or something like that. So you'll know that, okay, it's on level 1 at least. Otherwise, you'd have no idea where to look. Okay, we do this. We got that. We need a rail right there. We need a thing there that actually picks up the compass, puts it into the hopper puts it into the barrel. Once it's in there real quick though, the comparator reads it and does a signal, and we're gonna put a dropper right on that facing up. So that's where the artifact will kind of shoot up through the floor there. Now, I do want to say, I know that this is obviously cheatable. You could throw any item you want in there and it will spit out an artifact. And I did that last season, and no one cheated once. And even if they do cheat, I'll be able to know at least someone cheated by there being compasses in here that don't belong to this barrel. So there's that. So the alternative is to make something way more complicated that I just don't need to do. So we're just gonna keep it simple and oh no! It's fine. It's not like this is cascading down through all of the endless tunnels below. Totally fine. So now above, if you look at my hotbar and you see the glowing compass there, it's pointing. Oh, no, I passed it. No, it's right around here. And then you wait for it to just get all crazy like it is right there. You know, you got it, and then you just go, eh. And there you go. I got the tropical fish artifact. Now, we're not actually going to give tropical fish. Instead of the tropical fish, we actually have these amazing items that are going to get custom names and everything, and I'll probably add a whole bunch more, but this is the kind of theme I'm looking for here. So these special items are going to pop out of the ground where you drop your compass off. You take this, you leave the dungeon with it, and you get tons of these, the frost embers. And these are your currency that you can use to buy new cards or other amazing things at the end of the game. So the interesting and actually kind of fun problem I have to solve is how to distribute these artifacts throughout the dungeons. Now, each one of these is going to be worth a different amount of frost embers, right? So say they're just in order here. Like these two guys right here might be worth like just 7 or 10 frost embers, but maybe this sword and hammer are worth like over 30, like 35 frost embers or something. So what I might do is, you know, in the first level, you're going to get lesser artifacts, maybe only ones that are worth 7 to 10 or something like that, you know, and then on level 2, you'll get ones that are worth maybe 10 to 20, etc., all the way down to level 4, where you're going to find that sword and that hammer that are going to be worth way more frost embers. Again, risk versus reward. The deeper you go into the dungeon, the better the artifacts are that you'll find. Oh, great. What is that?
Oh my gosh, there he is!
Whoa!
Oh, hi, Tango!
Hi! What brings you here?
Sometimes people say, Haka!
No!
No, get back here!
Come on!
Tango!
You gotta get better than that! Whoa.
Oh, Tango of the Frosted Tip Mountains.
Yes.
You surrender your head to me, to the king.
Serpentine!
For your crimes! Your great
What
crimes!
crimes? I'm neutral.
Your crimes of partying in the privates of the king.
Partying? Listen, I was told there'd be
crimes.
There'd be popcorn there. Ow!
There shall only be. Oh, okay,
Whoa, no. And I'm at spawn. Peachy. There he is.
Insane to think that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. That was nice.
You foul slayer! I do not deserve this.
Oh, you do. You
what?
unauthorized partied in our brave.
Listen, I was
King's
tricked. I was
privates.
boonswoggled into that party. Impulse promised me treats when I went. Now all I get is assassinated.
He's a soup
party.
man. He's a soup man. You can't trust a soup man, Tango.
This is obvious. Yeah.
You can't trust the soup man. A soup man cannot be trusted, as their loyalty is as thin as their broth.
You should go assassinate him a few more times. Have you got him yet, I hope?
I've got him like 5 times.
Good. Get him a few more times for me. Excellent.
It's quite nice. Anyway, Tango, this has been a
pleasure. Yeah, got my head.
I have
Wonderful.
both your heads, by the way. The king will love them.
You got the head and then the hat.
Tango, goodbye.
Goodbye. So we need to head over to our super amazing wool farm, which I can never find. Yeah, there it is. That little hole there. Wool farm down here with all the babas down here, because what we're going to do is we're going to organize. Oh, this is good. This is good. We've actually got a decent, I kind of want a little bit more. We're going to organize and actually color code our redstone. You see, Deckdown has a lot of redstone signals that need to be sent all around the place. Basically, there's a lot of signals that generate from the card processing center over there, or from whatever various systems I'm going to be building, like Clank and Hazard and all that stuff, need to be sent into the game to make the game react to those things. And the reverse of that, events happen in the game that need to be sent out to these processing systems. So in Decked Out 1, I wasn't very good about managing this, and we kind of ended up with like redstone spaghetti everywhere. So this time we're going to be a little bit more organized. We're going to be color coded, and we're going to be consistent. This is what I'm setting up here, is what I'm calling like a main bus line for all major input and output signals to and from the game. And this 12 thing, and this will be expandable, of course, if I get more signals, but these 12 lines right here, for instance, this pattern will continue all the way down this line here, down the other end as well. I picked this height because it's halfway between the first level and the second level, so we'll be able to interact with both levels equally. And obviously something like this will have to go down around levels 3 and 4 in the back there. Now, the idea is each color here represents a different thing. Like red might be Clank triggered, and green might be they picked up their artifact, and who knows what. Like there's just tons of little signals I need to send. Again, some of them coming from the game, some of them going to the game. So each one of these is going to have its own direction that it takes. So the idea is if I need to send something from the game or to the game from the main bus line, it's just a straight line precisely to where the event or the action needs to take place into the bus line. So if I like need to send a green signal, for instance, into the game, I would probably just take red and bump it up a bit, drop green down like this. Let's see. So it'd be something like this, right? This is kind of the most compact way I can get it. So then green would go underneath like that and go out the door. So there might be some little bumps and stuff here, but that's why we have this extra gap here to compensate for those bumps. So it should be, you know, minus the little bumps here and there. It'll be very consistent, fairly compact, and we can access any signal we want from any point in the game. Okay, I think I'm just about ready to start moving on to getting all the Clank systems in, which I'm actually really excited about. But before we get to that, I want to head back over to the game we made last episode, the TNT game, which is now called Basalt Assault.
Hello?
Hi there. What are you
Hello.
making?
Making a dunk tank minigame.
A dunk tank?
Yeah, you shoot snowballs at the targets on the far side. The first team to get all 15 lit up.
Dunks the other team?
The opposite team gets dropped. Yep.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
It should be cool. Dude,
That's
I saw you were
great.
you're making something with TNT over there. What's that
I
all
sure
about?
am. I'm actually going to go work on it right now. It's called
nice.
it's called Basalt Assault. It's a 2v2 game where you hurl TNT at each other and see who can be the last standing.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
It
That's
should be
awesome.
fun, yeah. And here we are at Basalt Assault. This is the game we made last episode involving flying TNT and snowballs and bombarding other player and panicking and trying to repair your platform before you run out of points. If you didn't catch it last episode, go check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. As you can see, we've been doing some testing here, and I think the game is ready to go. Honestly, I made a few changes since we tested it with Zed, which honestly, that test didn't go very well. I mean, it functioned up until we blew up one of the cannons, but I fixed the cannons, and more importantly, I changed the cannons right there. So they drop 2 TNT now at the same time, okay? One will drop through the other dispenser one tick before, so they both fall stacked right on top of each other perfectly, and they both hit the platform, but they both have a random offset, so they kind of just, 2 of them now go splaying in different directions, which is great because that just doubled the amount of explosifications. I've also changed the timings on all of the drops from the sky and made them a little bit quicker, added a little bit of backup storage in each one, so the game shouldn't run out of content, like meaning the snowballs and the basalt up there. So I think we're good. All I gotta do now is get some people to play. I put a message out to the hermits and trying to get some people together, but we don't have enough yet, so it might have to wait until another episode, or we'll do it on stream or something. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to try, though.
I come in peace.
I can always tell
come in
the horn. Here you go.
It's a little bit haunting in the distance.
It is, but it's a good way to announce your arrival.
I like how you replaced your hat, your head.
Yeah, well, I had to. Someone stole my other one. Jerk. Goodbye. What?
Oh no.
What?
I don't know where I put my bow.
Well, I don't have it. you can't
I must have left. Where did I leave it? Where did I leave it? I left it somewhere.
This
No!
is Sparta! Well, while we're waiting for people who are interested in playing some Basalt Assault, it looks like it's time for us to clank it up. The first part of the Clank system I want to show you guys is Clank detection. So as you know, or as you may not know, I don't know, as you're walking around the dungeon, there's going to be many, many locations, hopefully so that you can't even remember which ones there are, but there's going to be many locations where you might potentially generate Clank by walking over them. It's going to be done with a skulk sensor and a skulk shrieker and all that stuff. And I'll show you that in a second, okay? So the first one we're going to do is going to be right here, okay? Right under here, because this is going to be a main kind of pathway where everyone's going to go. We're going to build a little mini compact system here that has a chance of detecting you when you walk over it. Now, the thing to keep in mind is you could sneak and bypass this and generate no Clank. I mean, there's going to be some places in the dungeon that generate Clank automatically, but if you sneak a lot, you will generate very little Clank. However, you will be very, very slow as well. So something like this is going to be my Clank detecting system everywhere throughout the dungeon. Let me get some glass here and do that, and break that, do that, do this thing. And there we go. Okay, good. It's done. All right, so how this works, this is pretty cool, actually. It's like very simple, long-term kind of random timer. Cactuses grow on average about every 18 minutes, but that has very high fluctuation depending on how many block updates it gets and everything like that. So what happens now is every time that cactus updates, the observer sees it. It obviously destroys the cactus right away, but the sticky piston is going to get a 1-tick pulse, which, as you probably know, if you do a little bit of redstone, the block on a 1-tick pulse, it doesn't stick to it. It just moves 1 block. So basically that wool block will oscillate each time back and forth. So when the cactus grows next time, the block will move back. And now all I need to do is put a skulk sensor there and the shrikification. Well, let me close that up first. Put the shrieker in there. And now I think we're in business. I think that the magic's gonna happen, right? Because now, watch, the shrieker goes and then you see that observer there. Yep, so it detects, that will only detect player movements. If a ravager comes by or something like that, that shrieker won't shriek. It's only when the player moves. But when if the wool was moved back, like so, then now when I move, no shrieks. No shrieks. So what we have is a very simple to build, very compact 50-50 randomizer for which shriekers are active, because I don't want the player to know 100%, oh, this is a spot that will always generate Clank every time I go by it. I want to leave a little bit of mystery. So I'm just going to put a ton of these, this little gadget right here sprinkled, probably 30, 40 times on each layer here. So there's just tons of places where Clank can generate, and it will only half of them on average will be activated at a time, because as I stay down here longer and longer, these will get out of sync, and there's not going to be any pattern to which ones are on or which ones are off. So the next interesting decision is where on our main redstone bus line now do we want to hook those Clank triggered signals into. I'm calling them Clank triggered because it could still be blocked or something like that. So there's going to be a lot of them throughout the entire dungeon, like a lot of them feeding into the main bus line, but only one place where it pulls off, which is going to be back over there. I'll show you in a second. So I think picking one, if you want to be smart, pick one on the outside here so that it's easy to pipe in, and then only one place is difficult to pull across these 3 rows. I'm going to use the red line here for Clank triggered. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the skulk sensors will be waterlogged. And there we go. Things are starting to get pieced together. We got our first red line component here that signals down that line, down the main bus, over here, and into the Clankificator. This is the Clankificator. This is the Clank processing station, I guess. Much simpler, and I think possibly better than what I did in Decked Out 1. Where is it? This right here. I actually got a little inspired by a recent Seth Bling video. He actually made a video in like 2019 and showed this little clock. I mean, right here is just your standard comparator delay, right? But the way he hooked it up to containers on the edges here. So this hopper right here with the snowballs, this is the Clank meter here. When it's full, there's 0 Clank, no sound will be made or anything. But as you take snowballs out, the Clank will start to increase more and more. And then we have this guy over here just to limit it to make sure it can never go completely to 0. So you'll see what's happening here is every time that fades, this pulses right here. And what I want to do is hook this up. We got logs and we got pumpkins. And I think we want to do like, let's see, a 3, 3, and a 2, 2. Maybe? I mean, I don't know, Yeah, there we go. 2, 3 is better, I think. Yeah, that's a decent sound. So anyways, the way this works is as items are pulled out of here, which happens every time Clank is generated, the signal will get shorter and shorter, and that tension will build and get faster. So watch, I'll just check it out. I'll just like start removing snowballs. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. It's kind of like the Jaws theme, right? I mean, that wasn't my intent, but I think it works. but this all may change, the actual audio stuff. The system working great. And when the game is over, we'll just need to send a signal here, which will rapid fire this and recycle all of the snowballs back in. You can hear the sound kind of slowing down now. Now this little piece over here is the Clank block detector, I guess you could say. Not as in like block, it's like actually blocking Clank. So I could have a card called like stealth, right? I'm gonna have a card like this in the game, and it's gonna say something like +2 Clank, or blocks the next 2 Clank, right? And all that's got to do is signal this right here twice, which will kick a couple items over, and that'll change the incoming Clank from taking snowballs out of the hopper instead to doing whatever this line is. In fact, I think whenever Clank is blocked, maybe something like this. Like little tiptoe sounds. Letting you know you're doing okay. Clank could have happened, but you were stealthy. Now, of course, all of this is very configurable. Of course, the audio, the note blocks, we'll probably tweak those and try to make those a little bit better. But more importantly, the rate at which Clank will degrade over time as you are generating Clank with the Skulk Shriekers, the amount of those, like right now it takes 20 of those, 20 instances of triggering a Skulk Shrieker for this to deplete. It does 4 snowballs each time, and then you'll get down to maximum Clank, and once you reach maximum Clank, well, that's when the evokers are let loose in the dungeon. So yeah, one of the big things we have to get left, like the finishing of Clank, is the penalty for having Clank, right? All of this doesn't matter if there's not a good penalty at the end, and we've talked about this in the past, so we're not going to get to it today. But what I want to do soon is basically make a minecart track that meanders through the entire dungeon, through all the important corridors and stuff like that, where an evoker will be riding in a minecart. And if you guys remember when we built the dungeon here, the crypt, we've already put some thought into it. You see all these little staircases. The evoker is going to ride right through these little cracks here, and I'll cover in the back and stuff and make it look nicer. But the idea is you won't see much of the evoker, but the evoker will see you, and you won't know where you're going to encounter an evoker because it can be anywhere that the evoker is riding underneath these, like this little gutter system. But when he sees you, well, that's when the Vexes come out. So I think that's going to be a ton of fun. That's probably going to be down the road. I want to make sure everything is all finalized because obviously we got to gather evokers and stuff. But having the evoker go through key spots, like right here, this is a key location. We'll probably have, you know, the evokers' heads pop through the walls over here or something. So yeah, this is pretty great. We're at an exciting part in the development of Decked Out now because we're kind of like, we're starting to have pieces of the puzzle that can fit together now. We basically have our Clank system fully designed and working. Obviously, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to put in a ton of the Clank detector systems and hook them all into the main bus line. I've got to do all the lodestone compass drop-off areas. Hi guys, spawning up there. But what's even more impressive or exciting right now is we can start putting in some of our actual cards that I'm getting close to the design on, and I'm going to reveal the cards soon with the art and everything. I think you guys are going to love it. I'm super excited for that, but we can actually start putting the effects of the card, plugging those into the main bus line, which again is going to run right through here just conveniently, and we can start actually having the cards actually affect our gameplay. So that is going to do it for today. Unfortunately, we couldn't get 4 people together to play some Basalt Assault, so we'll try to do that real soon. But I'm excited, guys. Like, we got a lot done today, but more importantly, I am unlocked. We're going to have some really good streams coming up on Twitch where we're going to be working on Decked Out now and getting this stuff all in here. I'm going to definitely want your feedback as always. So appreciate you guys watching, and see you soon.